Show go on. Okay, this is a show between Kiev, Ukraine, and Oxford, Britain. Well, let's start this show today, this evening time. Hello, Irina. Today we have
Hello, Victor.
yes,
It's nice to see you.
yes,
She's
because
online.
we had a just electricity break, and just for 3 hours in Kiev.
I-
Fortunately, it was not missiles attack. Fortunately, we keep fingers crossed, as English people say. Yes, but in some cities, there is still a very difficult situation in Ukraine. But today we have opportunity to have conversation, such a, I hope, a nice discussion between Ukraine and Britain. And I have a guest who is Irina Gigelska. She has a, hello, Irina. She has a
Hello.
very nice website, YouTube channel, which is named Amazing Ukraine. And I have a channel which you are visiting now. Maybe it will be recorded so you can see on my channel and on channel Irina. And first of all, I can introduce myself as a just a leader of this discussion. My name is Victor Fursov. I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper, and teacher. I'm zoologist or biologist, to be precise. And I'm studying insects. You can see them on my background on this poster because I'm making sometimes lectures on my channel just for fun, for education, for just educating people who are just can be more familiar about nature. If you can say something interesting, people are attracted, maybe can receive biological education. And Irina, she is my guest because together we have met already in Kiev some years ago, actually in very interesting place in Toastmasters English speaking club. Yes, Toastmasters. These are very special people who likes public speaking. Public speaking in English or in other language in different countries. And we visited probably Dnipro Hills Toastmaster Club in Kiev, or maybe Toast Crackers. I guess Dnipro Hills. So we have just mutual friends.
Yeah.
And so now I give a word for Irina. Please introduce yourself so you can tell a little bit more and we can exchange by questions. I will ask questions for Irina and Irina will give me intriguing and provocative questions for me. So, Irina, please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you for such opportunity to speak to you, to speak in front of your audience. So, as you told, we met many years ago in Toastmaster Club, the club of happy people who provide public speaking. It was many years ago when I have not very good English, but for all this year I improve it and improve. Uh, and now I have much more better level because of public speaking.
I have even special poster why people can study English to receive new knowledge, learn culture, read books, to get smarter, to grow their self-confidence, self-esteem. I guess something much your interest as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you are in Britain, near Oxford, by the way. So
Mhm.
you must speak English, not Ukrainian. Is it
Yeah, here.
obligation for you? How you are doing there?
Yeah. Here, by the way, first of all, I would like to tell that I was tour guide in Kiev and I will be tour guide in Kiev. This is just a short break for me. I'm here in Great Britain for get new knowledge, to improve my English and get new opportunity and come back to Ukraine and started my tours again. Yeah. So I have a cup of tea, British cup of tea, because here English people like tea with milk. Um, and by the way, I would like to show you special present to you
Ah,
from my
right.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah,
Big
this is
surprise.
present from my mom. She is artist, and the first time when we saw your video, she was very impressed, and she make this portrait for you. So I will send to you This.
Oh, thank you very much. Very funny, very interesting.
Yeah.
Portrait, this is not a photo, but this is just a picture with emotions, with personal attitude. So
Yeah.
this is absolutely different than just photo.
She like
Thank you
make
very much.
drawing very fast, and she do it for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. We were impressed by your stories. You are talking about so difficult things, but in so simple language that even my 4-year son was interested in. When you talk about animals, about difference in sort, you tell it's like fairy tale.
But this story was in English or in Ukrainian?
We have seen one in Ukrainian and one in English. But
Okay.
it was very interesting because you combine and Ukrainian and Russian and English. So it was
Great.
fun.
But sorry for question, but how did you come to Britain? So this is not a secret because the situation in Ukraine is pretty difficult. So rather complicated situation. So tell a little bit about your story. Why did you come to Britain?
Okay, first time when I came to Britain, it was about 6 years ago. It was after Euromaidan. After Euromaidan, 8 years ago, I understand that I need to change something in my life. I need to do what I want because we have very short life. I have seen people who died there, so I would like to do something really important. So I decided to apply for visa in UK. I decided to apply for some university, and Great Britain give me visa, and I was very happy because it was very difficult. So I supposed to go there for 2 weeks, but I was living in London for 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I should write the book, How Survive in London. For Ukraine. It was very difficult period because I had no job permission, I had no money, but I had very good friend and I met very good people there. Yeah. So I had many adventure in London, but first of all, I met people who have their private business, and I understand it's very interesting to have something private. Before I used to work in museum, and in museum it was okay, but you repeat the same tour again and again. It can be boring, but I wanted to do something more interesting. So in London, I got this idea to be private guide. So when I come back to Ukraine, I started my own tours on TripAdvisor.
But you told that you have a university education in history and archaeology. So you're a historian from education.
Yeah. I finished Cherkasy University, and also I finished master program in archaeology in Kyiv Mogila Academy, the best university in the world.
Oh, yes, so famous place.
Yeah, it was crazy years. It was fantastic life in Kyiv Mogila Academy. I think if you study there, you change completely your mind. This is the same as to be part of the Toastmaster. You know, there's amazing people with amazing idea who follow their idea and try to make them come true.
Community in Kyiv Mogila University is very enthusiastic and communicative.
Yeah. Till now, all my best friends are from Kyiv Mogila Academy. We stay in touch. We have the same background, and I knew many people from Kyiv Mogila Academy who got success in their life because they started there.
Yeah. Okay. And what was going on in London later? So you had a short period of your life in these 3 months in London. So I know, what was your conclusion? Stay in London or just come back to Ukraine?
No, I wanted to come back to Ukraine. Yeah, it was difficult because I had very good friends there, but I came back to Ukraine because I understand that the best place where I can live is Ukraine, is my country. I cannot explain this, but I understand that it's not so easy to live in foreign country. Sometimes Ukrainians who did not go abroad, they think that it's easy, but it's not easy in Europeans. And I had this expiration and I come back to Ukraine. First, I was a private tour guide. I did my tour. Till now, I have many reviews on TripAdvisor. But after I got my son, I started to collaborate with other guides. So other guys started to work for me, and slowly I grew up my business and my tours. It was really nice before the war. We developed Ukrainian village tour. We took tourists to villages, to Boguslav, to different nice places in Ukraine. So I hope that after the war we will.
And this time also you started your YouTube channel as well. Amazing Ukraine, right?
Yeah, I started my channel during the COVID in
Right.
2020. Yeah, because when COVID started, I understand that I'm not going to have tourists. There will be nobody at least 1 year. So
I
what?
see.
Yeah, but I understand that I need to do something. I was very scared to speak in public. It was very difficult for me. Probably people who can speak very nicely, they don't understand these feelings, but people who are afraid of speak in public, they understand me. So together with my friend, we started to make video. We decided for 1 month, we decided to exchange by our video. So every day we did video and sent to each other. Just and they encourage each other, support each other in such way you build this feeling that you become more confident, you believe more in yourself. And in some months I become more confident and I started a live video as here, and I got more and more videos.
And you said about your travel tours with visitors to Ukraine, with tourists. Which places you have visited with them? You said Bohuslav. This is close to Chernihiv, probably, or Cherkasy.
No,
In Cherkasy.
Cherkasy region, yeah.
And what else?
This tour, because first we did like city tour, Kiev Lavra tour, Kiev city tour, but they were like ordinary because every agency do like this. But once I got a couple from Israel, and this man told that my wife would like to go to simple village and she would like to cook piroshki. Okay, I told. I will try to organize for you. So I organized my friend who live in village, and she prepared different dishes, the huge Ukrainian table as we used to. And I invited this Israel couple. So they visited this village, and my friends showed them how to make pirishki, and they were very happy. They left me very nice review, and after this, more and more people started to come to us. So we developed different routes, and one of them was Boguslav. Boguslav is in Kyiv region, but it's close to Cherkasy region. It's 130 meters, 30 kilometers from Kiev. There are very nice places because, first of all, I showed to them weaver, Ukrainian traditional weavers. There are lady who make special Ukrainian carpets and dresses on the weaver's machine. Yeah, Valentina Tkach. And especially Americans like this. They buy from her different stuff for present to America. After we visited river, there are very nice river with canyon, with waterfall, and sometimes we even swim there. It was like natural resort. And after I took them to Ukrainian village near the Boguslav, and there was a lady, Nina, who has a house in Ukrainian style, like green tourism. She showed to them how to cook vareniki, piroshki. She treated them with borscht. She showed to them how to take honey from the bees. By the way, you should visit her. Very nice. She has bees. She has goats. She showed to them how to milk goats. So they were completely happy. They thought that they are like in some another words because they have no something so simple in US. So everybody give us very good feedback, and I hope that after the war we will continue these tours.
Yes, Ukrainian people are very generous and polite, and we can give a wonderful meal, just homemade meal. So people, just visitors, tourists, really enjoy it very much.
Yeah, here in Great Britain, then they impressed that we cook so much food. They don't, they don't cook so much. For instance, when we have some celebration and we invited British people, mom always make like and голубці and cutlets and difference and all tables. But they are really happy to test. That is why on my channel we make also cooking show together with my son. We show British people how to cook Ukrainian dishes, and it's very popular here.
So that's why it's very pleasant to know that your channel is named Amazing Ukraine, which expressing just attitude to Ukraine. The interesting, beautiful, amazing place to see, to watch different landscapes, different monuments, cities, villages, just people, to meet people. So there are a lot of interesting places to visit after the war, after this crazy war.
And probably you can tell what places can visit, because I think you knew different natural resources. For instance, one of my friends from here asked if Ukrainians have wolves or bears.
Yes, very good question. Actually, we have a near Kiev special place as like a restoration place, nature conservation place with some bears and wolves. Really, with just one my colleague who was working in our Institute of Zoology, Marina. She's a leader of this group. She's a zoologist. She's taking care about wolves and about bears. They're just under protection. They're like special nature refuge for animals from zoos, from forests, who just were used for hunting, for different zoos. And so after a certain period, these animals were bought and moved not to the zoo, but to this nature animal refuge, just for keeping them safe. So we're feeding them, we're looking for their behavior. We made very careful place for their life for wolves and for zoos. Actually, she even graduated studying the behavior of wolves. And so we were just joking in institute, but we got very interesting PhD student named Red Cup, because she was so smart and strong and courageous to study behavior of wolves. So quite surprising. But later she started to study behavior of bears. Bears are bigger than wolves. So you can imagine. So she is very special. So
yeah, I can imagine. Where is she from?
She's from Kiev, but now this in Kiev region, this is special animals refuge, quite close to Kiev, maybe 50, 60 kilometers nearby.
What's this place name?
And it's difficult to say.
I mean, near what town it is, or will.
This is close to Kiev. I will check and give you just a link about her.
So it's open for people, or this is just for scientists?
No, some people living nearby, so we're feeding animals like in a zoo. But in a zoo, they're just treated or just for big exposition. But here, only for some animals who just like evacuated from private zoos, because in private zoos, attitude of some business people to animals
Oh,
like bears
mhm.
are really very crazy. So they
Yeah,
do not like animals; they like only money.
yeah.
But in this animals refuge, people take care about their behavior because some animals were old, some were just wounded, and so on. So they need care. And later they are making also some excursions with some visitors. So we're showing them they're sitting, they are just running on certain place under the surrounded by fence. So they're walking and they're living like in a small natural environment. So more or less like in a zoo, but under the open skies.
Mhm. It's very
Because
interesting because I looking for new places near Kiev, so we can include it in our tour, village tour.
she's
Like we
actually
can show them to tourists.
she's also just a research scientist in Kiev Zoo. So we have a zoo in Kiev near Polytechnical Institute. So she is just responsible for animals in zoo, but also in this special, like a special
Mhm.
animal refuge nearby this city because bears they need more attention and
Yeah.
just protection. So this
In Ukraine, we have many different landscape, different natural sites.
yes, for zoologists, for it's quite interesting situation when we had a calm and peaceful time. The best time for zoologists it is summer because we're always waiting the whole year for the summer expedition. Expedition meaning traveling to natural place, natural environmental for science, for studying or collecting insects or studying some animals for making observation in natural environment. At once, for instance, I rented a car and with my foreign visitor, we crossed the whole Ukraine from the north to the south to the
Cool.
steppe region in Zaporizhia to some nature reservations places with steppe, only flowers, some hills, very wonderful natural environment. So we moved over
Skidens,
one,
burial mounds,
yes,
uh,
some
the
stone
burial
mountains.
place of the ancient people.
Yes, and we traveled around 1,000 kilometers during 1 day and a half. And finally, at night time, we arrived to the nature reservation. And hosts were very we enjoyed very much. We got some meal, some drink, we got some watermelons, and my friend was very happy about it. And we relaxed midnight in nature reservation and then studied our animals next day. So this was also a very special tour with my foreign friends. So I did it sometimes as well. Now, and now you can ask some questions.
Yeah.
You have some questions about Ukraine, by the way.
Yeah, I just would like to remark that I understand you because when I studied archaeology, we always every summer go for digging to different region. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
it was
expedition, archaeology expedition. Yes.
expedition. Yeah, yeah. First time we dug in Cherkasy region. We dug people who live here 3,000 years BC. They were Indo-Europeans. There is the theory that all people in the old time were united in some Indo-European groups, and after they separated, one of them go to Europe, one to India. That is why we have some ancestor in India as well. So we dug them. We dug different ceramic, different stones, their knives, but it was very hard job. Our archaeologist, the head of our expedition, was um, very enthusiastic in archaeology. So during the day we were digging, and during the night we go to disco in the neighboring village, singing Ukrainian song near the fire. It was really great period of me.
And the age of this village was about 2000 years BC?
1000 years BC. Третє тисячоліття на 3 millennium BC.
Yeah, 3 million.
Ямна культура, ямна culture. In one of my video about history of Ukraine, I'm explain about in the European, especially Indians, people like to see this video and discuss. So
Yes,
very
actually,
interesting topic.
for paleontologists, for archaeologists, this expedition to the field is the most memorable time. I participated in an expedition, for instance, with paleontologists, and it was very interesting because paleontologists, they studied some soil near the river in the western Ukraine, near Volyn. So they studied soil near the river, and so they searched for teeth, actually, of mammals. But what kind of mammals? Small mice. Small mice. So teeth were very, very tiny. So we were just using special mesh to check all the soil. So, and we collected very, very tiny teeth. So, but for paleontologists, they were very old, maybe 10, 20,000 years old, and it was quite interesting for evolutionary research of these tiny mice.
Understand. Because I think they died about 20,000 years BC, like this, in Mesolithic, at the end of Paleolith, and there are start Mesolith with durs.
Right.
So here were the big change.
This was just one paleontologist studied small teeth, but another paleontologist, my friend, it was my first expedition. He studied the bigger bones for some mammals already which were already not living now. So because actually yesterday I visited Museum of National History near Metro Teatralna. I visited just for a special lecture of my friend and colleague Alexei Kovalenko. He gave presentation about plants. He is botanicist, and he wrote book number 3 about fungi. So I was interested to visit his lecture just to receive some enthusiasm, to look for a young person who is just enthusiastic, who is talking interesting way about plants, about fungi. So he made a presentation in front of the public in a room in museum, and approximately maybe 20, 30 people, young people like students, not students, were presented during this lecture. And finally he made just signature on his book. So because now we have just a lack of interesting scientific and popular book about biology, about different stuff. So he wrote just his third book about fungi, about mushrooms. He had a first book about fruits and vegetables, second book about invasive species of plants, and third one about fungi and mushrooms. So, and he has also a YouTube channel named Dovkolo Botanica, something near botanics. So he's talking about botanics and about some. He likes very much different dinosaurs. He's making presentation for young boys about dinosaurs in the museum, and they enjoy him very much. Just young boys from 6 years old till 12 years old, just looking for his presentation very much. And he's showing some big tufts of sharks, different bones of dinosaurs, but in internet, definitely it's just copies, not original. But his lectures are very, very enthusiastic. So it's quite interesting to visit. Good lecture for enthusiasm.
He should go to Oxford. Here we have many dinosaurs in National Natural History Museum.
I will go. This Ukrainian sculpture of an ancient lady from nomads. Archaeological,
You mean the stone lady?
Yes.
Here in Oxford Museum, I found stone lady from Ukrainian steppe, but also here many dinosaurs and this dinosaur were the first dinosaur who excavated by scientists. So Oxford is famous by the first scientists in the world from the 18th, 19th century. It's really excited, and tomorrow I going for museum training to Oxford. Once a week I'm going to have museum training, and I will show your audience. I can show your audience some objects. You will like this for sure. By the way, about popular history, popular science, it's really good that now scientists who can explain very simple to people how different subjects. For instance, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I found internet British ancient historian, who was talking about Indo-Aryan, about Scythians, and he was talking in so simple language. And actually, by his language, I started to learn historical English, because there are in history has many specific terminology. Yeah. And when I came here to Oxford, I understand that this professor is here in Oxford. So I write to him, and he was very simple, very modest person. He invited me for coffee. So I went to meet him, and for me it was very interesting to meet in person this fantastic person who you learn English from. It's very interesting was to meet.
A very tricky question. Probably you have seen some programs on BBC. Do you know who is the most famous man in natural history, and who is just presenter in BBC television? The most popular in the BBC and in the whole world.
Oh, sorry, because I'm not often see the trial.
This name
David Attenborough.
David Attenborough. David Attenborough. He's a superstar of British television. He was the first presenter on BBC in 1957 probably, and he's about now 92 years old, maybe 93, old superstar, but he's still participating in different movies, in different stories, in different presentations. So because he has very calm, very interesting, very nice voice, which is actually the voice of nature in all natural history movies which are presented by BBC and other companies all around the world. He is absolutely wonderful. British accent, easy to understand, very soft, and even but very unusual name. At once he arrived to the tribe of some Polynesian, and Polynesian treated him like a king, because they thought that he is just the king of Edinburgh, because Edinburgh, it was in this time like a, so because his name like a David Attenborough looks like a king of Edinburgh, Edinburgh, the city on the north of
Edinburgh, Scotland.
But I got this book from him with signature, because when he just presented this book, my friend in the Natural History Museum said, we had a presentation of books which is done now by David Attenborough. He's superstar in our country. And he said, in this time, he said, in comparison, he looks like Michael Gorbachev in USSR. So I said, well, really, very interesting comparison. So, and David Attenborough even visited 2 years ago Chernobyl nuclear station, some places, and just BBC recorded one of the stories in Chernobyl. I was watching this story and I thought, David near Chernobyl panel in somewhere in a kindergarten. So I recognized this is Chernobyl. I was watching, very surprising. I think this is a Photoshop. I thought this is Photoshop. He's not there. But later I typed in computer because no information somewhere in the media, in public media. He was like a secret person, like a spy, visited us. Nobody didn't talk about it, but he visited the reservation in Pripyat because now we have a nature reservation in Pripyat, just surrounded this area for animals and for, all around this Chernobyl. And he made presentation inside the building of previous kindergarten. So it was just a panel like mosaics from the old period of USSR, and he presented, I am now in Chernobyl. This is a very strange place in a human being society. So really, he was there a few days, and only people who was working there knew about him. And later he just moved quickly to Britain, so no one didn't make interviewing with him. So because he's a
Interesting.
superstar, and he arrived just a little bit secretly to
Yeah.
avoid public noise.
You know that Chernobyl was very one of the top places that tourists visited before the war. Many tourists came there because they were interested in such kind of places. I did not know why. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Ukrainian
know. I
don't
don't know why.
understand.
Why? No, 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 no. I do not like it. I do not go to expedition to this place.
Yeah.
I remember one friend of mine told me that biologists studied some animals after the Chernobyl nuclear disaster for a few years, and one friend who was beekeeper, beekeeper, bees were collecting nectar and making honey, and also were collecting pollen, just some pollen from flowers. And he came back from Chernobyl from one of apiaries with a big glass of pollen for investigation. For investigation, how it was about radiation inside the pollen because bees were flying everywhere around collecting pollen from flowers.
Yeah.
Maybe they collected also some kind of radiation, and now radiation spread everywhere around Chernobyl. So this is not a good place for visit because it's dangerous for health. If you are walking around near Chernobyl, you don't know what is about the dust. And people are using special machinery for measuring the radioactivity. So this machine is always clicking, making click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click. So better to visit Carpathian Mountains, Carpathian
Yeah.
Mountains, or some
Yeah,
other.
Professor. I think there are also many green tourist buildings. There are people who can host you in Carpathia, but not only in Carpathia. Nearby in Kiev region, there are many lovely houses and with good people. So if you go to Ukraine for 2 weeks, you can visit and Carpathia and Odessa and Lviv. But if you stay there like 3 days, it's better like Kiev and nearby Kiev, different places like Bohuslav, Bila Tserkva, Chernihiv, like this. Very beautiful.
But you said that you visited some years ago at the first time London. So what was the most surprising for you at this first time, from first glance of Britain? Maybe you visited London, came back, you was thinking something was absolutely fantastic. Because why with this question? Because when I visited London, and I got some advices from my friends. They said, when I visited first time abroad, this lady said me very memorable sentence. She said, Victor, it will be very easy to accept things which are comfortable. You accept it very easily. It will be very difficult when you come back home to reality. So you will be suffering after that.
I remember then when I first came to London and I was picked up from airport, we drive by so beautiful wild white houses. Every there were 2-level houses, white cottage, and I was impressed because I was supposed that in London is capital of Great Britain. There should to be the huge skyscrapers like in Kiev, in other, but here every there are cottage. and sometimes I even lost in all these streets. If you have no navigator, it's difficult to manage because everything is the same. So actually, I like this surrounding, so peaceful. But when I came here, I understand that people here more like clothes. British people like to stay home. They not often go somewhere, especially for walking. They don't used to walk on the street. If they meet people, friends, they meet them in pub. Yeah, so it's unusual for Ukrainians because in Ukraine we used to go to a park, to different places, and to see many people. Here, for instance, in our village, even during the day, you walk and you see just houses and cars, no people. So it's strange a bit for me. This.
And also, I had a very interesting impression also after several visits to London. So I recognize something very special, very special. For instance, how to say? Okay, first of all, I said ask you, and what was interesting, surprising, maybe acceptable, which you can accept yourself, or maybe you can accept and you can say it can be introduced to Ukraine, which can be used in Ukraine, this approach, these ideas, this attitude, which can be used in Ukraine, which is existing in Britain.
Okay, first of all, this is a good attitude between people. Everybody smile. Everybody say sorry to you if they do something like touch you or say thank you to you. I like this. Some months already, for some months, I work as a waitress in pub, and I see this attitude as well there. I compare my experience to working as a waitress in Ukraine 15 years ago. It was completely different.
It was very hard, I guess. So.
Yeah, because the managers were not very polite and they press us. I hope that's now situation change here. If you are it does not important if you is manager or if you just wash dishes. You are equal, you are the same, and people feel themselves relaxing and very good. They provide for me very good training. They answer all my questions. Managers were very helpful. All my colleagues were very nice. There are work many young people. And now I understand why so many foreigners go to UK for work. Many Spanish people, young people from Spain, from Greece, from Romania, Lithuania, they work in the pub, and this is international team. But we have very great team that's very helpful, help each other. So I really happy to work there. When I work there, I feel like I just relax. So I would like that in Ukraine we have such kind of atmosphere between workers, that everybody respect each other. This is very important for feel yourself as Europeans, as a person from the free society. I think it can solve many problems between people in such way.
Yeah, when employee in a restaurant, in different organizations, are treated not like slaves, but like people with confidence, with respect, with pride, with attitude of like human beings with pride, not like slaves. You must work, only work, and get some results.
Here people very polite, and even if you do mistake, they tell don't worry, everything is fine. I already knew customers who came to us. Some of them go every day, just drink beer and reading newspaper. One of them have many newspaper, and he just come for reading them. And I asked them, oh, okay, do you have good news? He told, yeah, we delivered to Ukraine 30 tanks. So you will get tanks from grid. So if you tell to customers that you are new, they are very polite to you. If you tell them that you are from Ukraine, they are extremely polite. Oh, you Ukrainians. So they are really great people.
But how do you think this? It depends from society, the whole attitude of society, or from people, or from government. Why people are so polite and so relaxed? They feel comfortable.
Probably this is the sign of European style, European culture, I think, because they used to this. For instance, some months ago, I had a course of customer service, how to deal with clients. So every day she tell us that we should to be polite, we should to smile, and was the basic that we learn. One Ukrainian girl was on this training and she did not understand them. She told that, oh, they are so simple. They are, for me, it's so simple. Why we should to tell, to learn everything like the same, repeat everything the same. She was economist from Ukraine, and she used to that on the courses we get much knowledge about different subjects, but here not. Here, the first you need to learn how to deal with clients, how to deal with hard clients if they complain, how to deal with good clients, and so on. So the first of all, you should smile and be polite. So every day they'll learn this. And at school, between kids, parents teach their kids that you should to be polite, you should to be good. I think it depends on society in general. They used to be like this. They used to teach their children how they should to behave.
And I have such an interesting explanation of situation. For example, when I came to first time later as well to airport in London, Heathrow Airport, I got in my mind special impression, special sentence. I say, when you are coming to Heathrow Airport in London, you're making the first step on the floor in Heathrow Airport. There is a carpet, blue carpet on the floor of airport, very soft carpet. And when I'm making first step from airplane on the blue carpet of Heathrow Airport, you are making first step from totalitarianism to democracy.
Yeah, that I like this idea that they, first of all, the most important thing is humanity, person, how you feel, what you want in this life. They don't press kids at school that you should stay here, you should tell this. They are very democratic. Okay, they go for instance, my son had Christmas concert. They came to the concert without boots, without socks, just with feet. I don't know. This is such kind of they are without boots, so probably they used to cold in such way. So they were singing, everybody singing in different way and different, but everybody was so impressed, like, you are great, everything is fine. And, so
education
they
in school
try,
very supportive, very supportive.
yeah, they give opportunity to every person to be yourself, to develop yourself and open yourself. Of course, here life also hard because people need to work hard sometimes, especially if you Ukrainian and you came here as a refugees. So many Ukrainians here came to work for pick up something on the factories, and they work there all day long. I understand this, but I prefer that if you work somewhere in the shop or in the cafe where you can have opportunity to improve your English. I met here many foreigners who live here for 6 years, for 5 years, and they do not have still good English because they work on the factory. That is why I think step by step you need to improve your work, improve your English in such way, and go to the
to improve some speaking skills. Even
yeah.
some people are workers. So as the Americans say, in America, such workers are named with special name redneck, because they're working just looking on the ground to collecting some fruits, and neck is under the sunshine, so neck is becoming red. So they called such, not very politely, rednecks, people who are working in a field. But even if people are working in the field, some are more skilled, some more skillful, and can learn English better, so they can be managers after a certain period of time. So he will not be simple worker, just collector of some fruits. He can be just first level of manager and second level of manager, and so. So there are some ways for growth, even in the very simple work. So there are some opportunities to make certain development in any work.
Yeah. For instance, such kind of people who work hard on the factories, so some there are abroad called Zarubichani in Ukraine, you know, especially Poland is famous with Ukrainian Zarubichan, Germany, Czech Republic. But I think that we need to get not only money from the foreign country, but we also need to get some experience. So the main that we can get from Great Britain is experience, that we can come back to Ukraine and we get some knowledge in business, or we get English here and develop them in Ukraine. For instance, I met one woman who would like to work in British school because she would like to develop her English, and she would like to come back to Ukraine and work in university in English courses. She is biologist, and she would like to be teacher of biology in English. But she needs to improve her English here. So it's really nice that people have such idea to come back and be better there.
But you told me before that you are meeting sometimes with people who are just refugees from Ukraine. So do you know, for example, I can tell something from newspapers. How many people are just now from Ukraine in Britain, approximately? Do you know?
Oh, it was, I think, about 100,000 like
Yes,
this, but I
I
think
think
it's
so.
more and more people come here.
I've
Now
seen
it's
the
more
number 90,000. So now maybe
yeah.
more
Now
than
it's more
100.
problematic to come here because here not enough sponsor. For instance, this program for Ukrainian require that the English people invite you and they host you. So first time there was fighting between British people to host Ukrainians, but now many places are occupied already by Ukrainians. So British people are tired with such kind of guests. So there are less people for hosting Ukrainians, but about 100,000 Ukrainians are here. In Banbury and around, it's about probably 100 people, I think, or even more here. Families live.
Yeah, this is in your city where you are living now,
Yeah,
Banbury.
yeah.
Banbury near
Here is Ukrainian center that support Ukraine. They send different goods to Ukraine. British people give them different food, different clothes, and they send to Ukraine to different, And Ukrainians also can go there and take clothes for free, just. if you need clothes, different items, you can take them for free or for very little. So it's very support Ukraine, because many of us came here without anything. So it's really great. We are really grateful to British people for support Ukrainians, and really now Ukrainians are in very good position, because when I first visited London, it was very difficult to get visa. I had no job permission, but now every Ukrainians have job permission, and Ukrainians have the same right as British people. So yeah, so we need to just take this opportunity to develop ourselves, to go to work and develop our English.
And finally, I wanted to tell you the story, maybe for your son. Maybe you can read him just this special tale. You know, this is a tale about story from jungles. Rudyard Kipling story about Mowgli and Shere Khan, tiger.
He is watching cartoon, so I will pass him.
So, because this is a story about a young boy who was just adopted by the couple of wolves in a forest, in a jungle. And just he was growing up in a jungle, and later he was fighting against tiger, Shere Khan. And actually, when I was thinking about today's meeting, I was thinking how to tell you a little bit more about this situation in Ukraine. I was thinking, and this story came to my mind, that actually the Shere Khan, who is just a tiger, he is just a special antagonist in this tale, and he is just like tyrant in the world of human beings. And you see, the Mowgli, the young boy who was adopted by wolves, he was living in jungles, and he was fighting against tiger. And tiger wanted to eat Mowgli, young boy, just for meal, just for fun. Why? Because tiger, Shere Khan, was considered as a cannibalist, just an animal who wanted to eat just for fun, for pleasure. And it's considered to be pleasure for him to eat human beings like small boy. But only Mowgli was one creature in the whole jungle and forest who didn't afraid fire. That's why he could find the fire from human being society. And he can fight against Shere Khan tiger. And he can win this fight, despite he's just a boy naked and not without big teeth, just he not so powerful like tiger. But tiger afraid of fire, by the way. And all animals afraid of fire. Only Mowgli, boy who just grew up and became just a big boy, became so strong that he could find fire and fight successfully against tiger, against the tyrant. So you see, Ukraine now in the position like a Mowgli. Ukraine can fight against tyrant, against tiger. Before, some people were thinking about Ukraine, like about small dog, small pet which is just barking against elephant. And for people, it was very funny. Why this dog is barking against elephant? It's clever. Because small dog can bark against elephant not just because dog is strong, but dog is barking because afraid of elephant. Maybe it was a previous story, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. But at the present time, Ukraine is like Mowgli, which doesn't afraid tiger, doesn't afraid Shere Khan, this ferocious predator. And Ukraine, the Mowgli, will win. This is a story.
Very nice story, Victor. And I even cannot understand how you feel there in Kiev. And I really impressed that you and many people stay positive, although every day you can have these missile attacks and air alarm. So it's might be very difficult, but you are strong, and people who live now in Ukraine are really great. For many British people, it's understandable how people can live in such situation without light, without nothing. But we believe in the better, and it's really great that we support each other. That's people who came abroad, they try to support Ukraine, and we believe that we come back to Ukraine. As my son told that I'm Ukrainian, everything is fine, and Putin went away from Ukraine. Our army is strong, so it's really great that Ukrainians believe in victory, and I know that we come back and everything will be fine.
Yes, we must trust to our army, to our government, and to have trust in pride of Ukrainian people. Because now we got very strong Ukrainian soldiers, which has courage, which has pride, and who has just the courage to defend their families and their land. We can say so. And now the Ukrainian Mowgli, they are not Mowgli. Now the Ukrainian soldiers, they have fire, big fire and big armament, which is helpful in this fighting against Sher Khan. And we will win.
I remember when war just started in 2 weeks, my mom came and told that the people from neighboring village, they started to dig tranchea, like the whole
Some cavities around.
Around village against Russian tank. And I was impressed because that if people in the small village somewhere in the central Ukraine, far away from the front line, started to defend themselves, of course they will not accept Russian army, and everything will be okay. That's everybody started to fight there, and that is why we exist and we alive, and Ukraine will be, I believe. And I think actually in the future Ukraine can be the big military state.
Strong military state.
Yeah.
Could be and must be.
Yeah. One of the best. Like Israel, it's fight against Palestine, and in this fighting it becomes strong. So Ukraine have no another way as become strong against Russia. We have no other way.
We should say also some just great thanks for our British people, British citizens who is supporting Ukrainian people in different ways, officially, unofficially, and in official relations in the government and state and business, and also unofficially, just for people like you and other Ukrainian people who are just living together with some British people and who are hosts for some families and who are helping in different ways as well. Because this is very important, and we really appreciate this kind of help.
Yeah, all this help that we get from foreigners, we get from simple people. For instance, this village where I live, years ago when war just started, they gathered, they collaborated with each other, and they gathered clothes, they gathered money, and they sent everything to Ukraine. He is the man who have the big lorry, and he bring all this item to this lorry and came to Ukraine. So it's everything that we get are from people, just from simple people from Great Britain, from Germany, and such kind of villages, some kind of stories are everywhere. So it's really amazing how people support Ukraine in this war.
Thank you, Irina, for coming to this discussion. Thank you for your stories and your impressions about Britain. I wish you good luck and with best wishes in your job, in your training, new visits to different museums after this training. And, you can make some. You will try to make some visits, either to change job or just to get new position or to meet new people, to get new knowledge. Try to take opportunities all around you as possible. So thank you for coming. Wish you good luck. And
Thank you.
so you can say last words just for our viewers.
Yeah, thank you. As every Toastmaster member, we stay optimistic. We get new opportunities. And thank you, Victor, for giving me opportunity to speak on your channel. I know that you started your channel many years ago, but I started just not far away. And for me, it's really a great. On my channel, I did a video about history. I do now about life in Great Britain and about Ukrainian dishes. So I pick up different topics, so you can follow me as well.
Yeah, when you have a little bit free time, in the weekend time and in evening time, just you try to make some videos about life in Britain or in life in your personal family at home, some interesting issues, interesting knowledge that you got just during your job, during your visits, during your traveling. So wish you good luck and development of your channel as well, so people can visit and make a decision. Just subscribe to new channel, just to get some knowledge, interesting ideas. So welcome and thank you very much for coming. Let's start. Let's visit this way of communication next time, maybe after 1 or 2 weeks, so we can continue this show. Keep fingers crossed for this time, if we will have electricity and more or less normal situation for Kiev.
I hope, Victor, that I see you on my channel as well, because my subscriber also interested in Ukraine, in zoology of Ukraine, in natural sites. So you can tell the different story. And I hope that after the war, we will visit this natural site with bear and wolf near Kiev.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
Good
then
luck.
see you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
guys.
good day.
Good luck. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you will see interesting stories, one new story. Bye-bye.